And we'll start in a tabletop position on our mat or floor, whatever you have. And we start just moving around in a circle to get some movement into the shoulders and hips and wrists. Change the other way. And stay in your neutral tabletop. Give me 3 cat-cow movements. Pushing the floor away, looking towards your belly button and rounding. Inhaling to lift up and draw the shoulder blades back. And walk your hands out to the front. Give me one long breath into your spine. And then let's walk over to the right side, left hand on top of your right. Over the center to the left. Right palm is on top this time. Very nice. Move it back. Go more towards the wrist. Lift the heel of the hand. And let's do some wrist push-ups. Make sure the elbow stays locked and shoulder is perpendicular on top of your knuckles. Already here, try to not sit back so much with the shoulder. Condition your body to start in the right position. Then turn the fingers out. We just shift the shoulders towards the pinky and thumb. Hands are still shoulder width. And then come to a seated position. Get your back of your wrist next to the knees. Wiggle your fingers. Create some space in the front of the wrist. Gonna come a little closer so you can see my hands better. The right palm is in the middle, the left palm on top, and you can use the heel of the hand to create a little bit of space in the wrist as you circle. Maybe every time you do a half circle, you find a new spot. Create some space. Change, left hand underneath, right hand on top. And then we'll bring it all the way down onto the belly. Comfortable position. Both hands start over your head. Then let's bring the left hand towards the sacrum and the right hand behind the head. Then we swap from here a few times. Keep the elbows high and lifted. Neck can be long. One more time each side. Then elbows stay in one line with your shoulders. Thumb is facing up. You want to draw the shoulder blades down and then lift the elbow, including the thumb. Feel the shoulder blade squeezing towards your spine. And release. We do 2 more. Let go completely, then pull the shoulders back, lift the hand. See if your neck can be nice and long. 1 more. Yes. Hands underneath the forehead. Windshield wipe the legs from right to left. Then we bring the arms over the head in a V shape, so a little wider than shoulder width, but same idea. You pull the shoulder blades down and then you lift your arms, hover. At the same time, pull the belly off the floor, the ribs elongate in the back. Release. 2 more. Hold down, lift. Last one. And stretch the arms out wide like a T. Give me a pec stretch on the right. Roll it back to center. Over to the left. Bring it into your tabletop. And we come sitting on our butt with the blocks breathing in between the knees. Just that we find the stabilization of the deep core. Pushing the knees into the block, reaching the chest back, pulling the navel in, head in one line with the spine. With this kind of O shape in your arms, you're going to reach the arms overhead. As you go up, make sure you're not tucking the pelvis. So you want to keep reaching the sternum and chest forward. And you do 5 of those. Try to feel the back of the shoulders. And you can be a bit higher if you're compensating the shape. If you don't feel it much, come a little lower, but make sure the feet stay on the floor. After your 5, you can drop the block, fingers facing towards you, rolling the shoulder blades back. Give me one reverse tabletop. That's okay. Rock forward and back. Bring it all the way back down. Let's find an easy straddle position. We go one knee bend at a time as we shift the torso to the other side, right and left. If you have slidey floor, you can really think of dragging the heel through the resistance towards your body. And then stay in your straddle. Turn sideways. If you still have your block close by, take the block and push it towards the front with a long spine and pull it towards you 5 times. We want to think of reaching the sternum and the chest to the ground, not so much the arms, the shoulders want to stay pulling back. Even if you push forward, keep the shoulder blades down the back. Nice, you could also do it with the roller. We'll go a bit more towards the hips. Find a low lunge and let's shift forward and back. Mostly getting the stretch into the back leg without losing our lower belly. And stay with your chest towards the front leg. I like to support my knee to the middle. Try to kick your right leg towards your butt without getting the hip too high. Very nice. Let's swap legs. Start with the movement forward and back first. Stay in the front. Make sure your knee is in the center. If you like, pull the back toe towards the hips. That's good. So now we go into a forward fold. If you feel that's too much in your hamstring, feel free to put the block under the hands, but I think all of you are fine. We're gonna lift the left leg out to the side 3 times, ideally not collapsing onto the right shoulder as we lift the left leg. Nice. Same on the other side. Block the shoulders, isolate the leg movement from the shoulder movement. And sit all the way down into a squat. Take a moment here to release the hips. Do one more stabilization exercise in a plank position. Find your plank. If that feels good, lift your right leg. If that feels good, come on fingertips or lifting the left arm all the way up, diagonal. Right back to your plank, left leg lifts. Maybe right fingertips or right arm. Bring it back. Sit back over your heels and walk forward on the fingertips for one more puppy pose. For the next drill, we need a wall. I'm going to take you to the side so you see better. You want to be so close to the wall that the hands can just be above the head. We want to use that to find the rib integration by lifting the ribs off the ground. What you want to avoid is pushing into the wall so much that the shoulder is round. So armpits stay open, and I'm just going to lift my belly button and my ribs. The hands on the wall is more for the support to find the rib integration. And maybe try to go in and out of it a couple times to just realize what's happening and how it feels when the shoulders are open and the ribs pulled back versus rounding and concaving the spine. That looks really good. Very nice. We'll bring that awareness into our straight handstand. I think all of you are fine without the wall. Find your kick up position, your straight alignment. See if you can find that same position with the back of the shoulders, but feeling the ribs in the front. Here you can soften your hands in this position. That looks good. Really nice, Jules. The best of your first handstand of the day. Just take a couple to arrive. You don't have to necessarily hold them so long. Just see where your line is today. Beautiful, Sylvie. If you know you have sensitive knees, go grab a mat or pillows to go into the frog stretch where the knees are in one line with the hips. And I want you to be on the elbows so you can, instead of letting the belly hang down, also get the ribs and the lower belly and the lower back into it as you're rocking forward and back. Pulling the navel in. Nice. What we're trying to do now, I'm going to mimic it quickly on the floor. We'll be in our straight handstand and we'll try to let our knees just drop to the side into the frog. It's fairly easy if we start with the feet on top of the hips and just let the legs drop into like a happy baby position on the back. In handstands, it does help to have the same idea of really letting the tension go out of the legs because they will land in the position where the body can support it. But the tendency is a bit more that the shoulders move at the same time. But I'll show you how that looks. Doesn't have to be super fast as well if it's the first time you're trying. You start in your straight position like you just did, and then let the knees fall down. Try a few. The hips will naturally sit a bit more back in your front. That's okay. If it feels better to try it in a headstand first, that's also an option. You need support of the wall behind. That's also a good spotting option. I know we all have limited spaces at home. Yeah, if you have the control, go a few times in and out, finding the straight alignment, letting the softness of the legs bring you into the frog position. Nice, really nice. I love the head and hip position, especially if you're fighting from your frog towards your straight position. Um, Feel what we did in the frog on the ground, that you pull the core into your spine before you straighten your legs out. Nice. And I do think that's a very good awareness drill also for our presses. Then after we pressed, we sometimes are not able to find our straight position. Because in the beginning of the press, we have to bring the hips quite far back, kind of what you felt now with the frog, the hips are quite far back. And then what you also feel here, after the hip is back, we have to bring it to the front again, that we don't shoot out the legs towards the back. So one last time, and then we go to the next one. See if you can find that straight position. It almost feels like pulling a bit more towards the belly side to hold it there. Yes. Good shoulder correction, Sylvie. Nice. Very nice, Jules. Okay, we lean a little bit more into the scary side, bringing the head out of it. Mm, we'll try it in kind of a weird puppy pose that has the knees a little wider, not as wide as before, but we try to mimic being in a frog position in handstand and being able to move our head nose to the ground and in between the fingertips without changing anything in the shoulders or the spine. You just have to do a couple head and neck extensions. And then we will try to do that on our hands, finding a frog position. First, you can jump directly into it. Relax your head and neck. Maybe you can look towards the back wall, or you can bring the head all the way through, leaning into your knuckles, the back of the shoulders, and the hips are fairly back. If that's scary, use the support of the wall, but you have to have, I think, 1 palm distance away from the wall. I'll just show it quickly here. 1 palm distance, the hip can touch, I can bring my head all the way through and just get used to that position. Go slow if you transition from normal to neutral to head in. Do less with the legs. Go one breath at a time, leaning towards the darker side. Yes, beautiful. Nice. Okay. It's always a good reminder to practice that for your presses. I don't want you to get tired on this. We'll do a little drill. You start with the legs bent. Your arms are on the inside. I like to be on the fingertips to make sure I have my shoulders pulling back. The thighs are connecting to the arms. And I want to lift my legs from here. I'll show it from the front as well. If you do this really wide, it's quite hard. So you want to be close to the body and gluing your inner thighs towards your forearms, but keeping the chest open. If 2 legs are too much, go 1 leg at a time. That looks really nice. Let's do 5 lifts, seeing if we can keep the structure in the middle. Perfect. You could also do them seated on a block. It's too limiting for your spine. Now we'll try that upside down. Different levels. You start in your frog position. You can go towards a straddle that's a little lower and bring the legs all the way up. Or finding your frog, trying to bring the legs together in the front and then guiding them up. The second version is a little harder. As you go into the straddle, you also don't have to go super low. It can be quite high and then finish the straddle exactly how you did from the frog towards the straight position. There's a moment where you have to collect your legs back in front. Going through straddle and then a mini pike is taking a little bit more strength. Nice. Focus on where your hips and shoulders are in space. They will move in a press, and you can control it. Nice. Try to stay connected to that lower back. Have as many breaks as you need to rest for the next set. I'll give you a little bit of time for this exercise. Find the hips, then the shoulders. Good. I would rather have you do that movement so slow that you feel the counterbalance of the hips and the shoulders. And then rushing through it and kind of catching the fall all the time. So if you have the capacity to do it nice and slow, try to do that. Super nice, Jules. Very nice. That looks great. Try it one more time if you have the energy for it. Maybe not going so low, but finding a clear pathway for the shoulders and hips. And then we'll go to a block drill where we need 2 yoga blocks if you have. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Grab your 2 blocks. Stand on first. You can put them the long side so your foot can stand comfortably. A little wider than hip width apart. We want to play with finding the length and relaxing the belly. So as we place our hands down, we still have the belly relaxed. As we go onto the toes, I just want you to think of lifting the legs into the hips. If you would do that and you push your belly out, you can't go anywhere. So belly has to stay relaxed. The legs lift into the hips and close to the body. And for me, it feels like my hip grows a little bit more towards the ceiling. Let's see. Yeah. Shoulders also still fairly relaxed if you can touch comfortable. Good. And if anything, think of pulling the shoulders back towards the legs, kind of dragging the shoulders instead of hanging out in this two-rounded position. Super nice. I often talk about this triangle that you feel here, where the thighs and the hips need to have a triangle that keeps getting up, and the thighs want to stay close to the body. We do a drill that's way harder than a press. I'm just gonna warn you. But I want you to get that concept. If the block that you have is kind of too heavy, you could also do it with like a pair of socks on each side. But I want you to imagine that you keep the block as you push the hands down into the ground. You want to keep the legs pulling into the hip up and towards the body. Don't worry if you don't float off. Just try to have that little lift off feeling. Maybe it's also easier for some of you to do this with a little press walk. Then you have a little bit more space. If you have the kind of softer blocks, it's a little nicer. That looks good. Very nice. That looks great. Don't do too many, but I think you get the idea. Now we take the blocks under our feet, but keep that principle in your spine. Not thinking so much with the shoulders, but keeping the legs lifting up and close so your hip can lean over and then your shoulders can go under. So start either on one block or two. Use your exhale to relax your belly. And as you lean a little front, you want to push down into the floor so that you can lift into your press. If you use more blocks, you have to have more flexibility. So try with one block to help with that first lift. Yes, beautiful, Jules. Nice. Beautiful lift off. Now you just have to find the right rhythm for the shoulder. When we feel the hips being on top of the shoulder, we want to get the shoulder under. We start in that little planche position. Yes, nice, Sylvie. A little more with the legs before you push with the shoulders front. Much better, Jules. Nice, yeah. Try to really land back on those blocks. It looks perfect what you do in the start. I like that the hip position is quite high now in the start. Try to keep that. So the lift off is good, the hip is high, then the legs go up, but also close to the body. Like narrow that space where the block was just squeezed. Try to still imagine to keep it squeezed on the way up. Your legs are way lighter if they stay close to the body. You're also welcome to try it without the blocks, but keep the same technique. I find the blocks exaggerate that movement in the hip and shoulders a lot. Nice. Very nice rolling. Jules, as a challenge, try to fall a little less into the lower back. In the beginning, the rounding of the spine is perfect, and then you're trying to go with your hip back, but your hip is already there. So try to keep that beautiful starting position that you have. Yeah, that looks good, Sylvie. Lean a bit more with the hips instead of the shoulders. Yes, nice. Now just shoulders. Good, Jules. Nice. Do one more, but shake it out for a moment because before you do another one. Nice. Want to do, or I want to go a little bit more towards tuck and pike, just because it forces us to do a better rounding position in the lower back. And the straddle kind of, as we open the legs, has the tendency to go into a rounded position, arch position, sorry. Let's wrap it in a forward fold. Try to get the shoulders in a relaxed position. As you lift one leg up, try to get the knee close to the chest without pushing into the shoulders. So I'm trying to use my exhale to get the ribs back and the thigh close 3 times on each side. Feel free to put blocks under your hands. You need a bit more space. Neck nice and relaxed. If you feel your knee is kind of going towards your nipple and helping your rib to move into the back of the spine, that is perfect. Yes. Then you can choose, depending on your energy level today. You can lift up one leg, start with the lower leg bent, and try to go immediately into a stack position as a press. That would be the easier version. If you want to go with both legs already, you lean front, go into your tuck. One leg is always easier, but it's the same principle. You could also do this from block to blocks. Keep that knee close and help the lumbar spine to arrive with your hip and shoulder. Yeah. No matter if you went up in the stack or tuck, try to do a negative tuck roll down, either to your feet or all the way to the shins. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Lean a little bit more with the hips. You were almost there, Jules. Yeah, pull that knee in a little earlier. And just show a drill in between to get the same idea. If you have one or two blocks and you get your knee in, you can bring the other leg back. I need to also relax my belly here and trying to get the knee to the chest. That will help me keep the spine in a good position. If I have the distance between the knee, I automatically fall into my lower back. I'm trying to keep everything close, and then I have the shoulder and hip already in the right position for the end position. This is also a nice reminder for your body. Try to draw that knee into the rib so your rib can roll more back. Yes. That looks nice. Let's try either one more on each leg or your tuck press. You can also do it from a higher surface, really focusing on the ribs driving back. Think more with the ribs. That's your connection between hips and shoulders. And just leaning the shoulders front or throwing the hips back. Yes, nice. Good, good, good. It looks really good in the lower back. Really nice. And on your flexibility, you can use one or two blocks under the heels or a couch if you're super flexible. But we want to go into a pike stretch, gluing the inner thighs together. Think of reaching the press forward, either holding onto the outside of the blocks. I find that very helpful to still draw the shoulders back. Looking front, if you look down, the shoulders automatically round. So keep the gaze above the toes. And then we take one or two blocks under the thoracic spine. And if the arms overhead, I want to get the ribs into the position. So finding from that arch position, the ribs pushing back, the shoulders, or the arms will follow along because I'm closing the ribs. Two more times. Let the ribs open. Use your exhale to close the ribs towards the back. I want to work a little bit on a pike position. And of course, this is going to be a little easier from a table, but I think all of you have it in your practice to do it from a sofa bed in the situation. You set yourself up and you start with the hips a little further back. Then ideally you pull the legs in and open into a straddle from there. But you start with really finding pike, drawing the legs in, and you can't do it anymore. You find your straddle. Get awareness or find the right moment when your hips are stacked on top of your shoulders. And then you open the legs. Your legs will follow the foundation. If you lift them too early, yes, perfect. Super nice, Sylvie. Really good pathway. Really nice. Nice. And all of you have a much better position in the lower back and in this starting from a pike press position. If you do want to challenge yourself, of course, you can also do it from two blocks, or if you find something that is even a little lower. Nice. Looking good, looking good. Use your exhale, keep your belly relaxed. Think of leaning with the ribs back. You start to push your belly out like crazy. You push yourself into a very big triangle in distance. One last one, and then we'll build it a bit from the top with the same idea. Nice, nice, nice. Good. So same, just from a straight handstand position. See if I have enough space. You start in your straight position. Use your exhale to find your pike. As you can't pike anymore, you straddle up into your headstand. Just the reverse direction that you just did. And go as low in the pike as the shoulders are not moving front so much. So that might be a lot higher. You could also do this with the belly towards the wall. I want you to find that connection of hip and shoulders and ribs, that you're not so attached to where the legs are in space. So shoulders, nice, open to straddle. As you open to the straddle, because it's way lighter than the pike, you have to dial it down and put some brakes on. Let's do a little shoulder stretch and then work on the pike one more time. Hands on the height of the shoulders, lean back without breaking your spine alignment for handstands. But let the chest drop, keep the belly pulling back. And walk the feet a little closer, just one step. And then we'll turn around, but still with the hips facing the wall, so you have a reference. Walk the hands out to the front on the fingertips. Relax that belly, keep the ribs back. I'll just show you how to do it with the wall first because I'm near the wall right now, and then I go to show it free in the room. I would say 2 palms distance from the wall. So you have enough space in your pike to go back. You find your straight position. The hips go back, back, back. And then you try to find the position in your pike where your shoulders are open and your belly can relax. And you keep the length in the spine. You kind of need about 1.5, 2 palms distance away from the wall to find that open shoulder position. If you feel good to do that, free in the room, also start in your straight position. Think the lower the legs are going, the more you want to pull the legs into the hips. to have them sit on top of the hip. And then use the pike to also roll all the way down to the ground. Last one. Tight in the shoulders. Keep the shoulders in the right place. Use the support that you need to do this exercise. It's okay to use the wall. Nice. Good, good. So fight in the shoulders, for sure. Yeah, if you have the back to the wall, it might feel nice to have the head out of it as well. Yeah, keep the length in the ribs and back. Nice. After you've finished your last one, put your 2 blocks under your heels. Have a little bit of elevation. Reach your chest in between. Also here, the belly wants to stay quite relaxed. Hips move back, sternum long. And stay here as you watch the last drill for the conditioning that I want to do today, also with the wall. Option one is doing it the back to the wall, so 1 palm distance. Let the legs come down. The shoulders continue to move away as the legs come down. Head can be out of it, but you want to avoid head and back. So get that push in the chest, lower the legs. If it's too much stretch, you can do it in a bent position. Try to hold it for 2 to 3 breaths and get those shoulders in the right position. That's the conditioning drill for today. Observe how far back your hips are. But you still want to be in the middle of your hand. Really, really nice. 2 or 3 breaths is enough. Nice. That's it, Sylvie. Took 1 hour to relax. Sometimes it's that way. Perfect. That was a perfect pass. Can go into the weekend like that. We had to get you tired first. Nice. Okay, you did very well. Let's find a seated position with the fingers facing towards the hips, rotating the shoulders back, arms bent or straight, but scoop your hips towards the front. Keep the elbows pulling towards one another to get the pec more open. Nice. Scoot your hips back. Take your left hand in front of your shins, rotate over the right side. Really draw the shoulder blades together. Follow with your head. Switch sides. Connect your feet. Hold the outside of your feet if you like, the elbows in front of the shins. Let your body just hang forward. Pick a moment of success from class today. Take that with you into the weekend. Connect the back of the wrists. 3 big circles each direction. Any seating position that feels good. And then hands connect in one line with the elbows. Hands move to the left, gaze to the right. Back to center, over to the other side. And then take some extra time to stretch out from class today. You did wonderful, and I hope I see you soon.